This is a question I got from Discord, and it's about romance, right? And basically, the person who asked this was having kind of a fling, and there was this like really good connection in the beginning, and then they were talking for hours and hours and such. But after a certain point, it felt like it kind of fizzled down, and now that it's fizzling down, there's a little bit of a remorse. It's like you didn't really like date, but at the same time it just kind of feels like a breakup. Also, all the things that could have been and such. So to quote some of the questions, right? Like I was pretty head over heels for this person, but I feel like it wasn't reciprocated. I selfishly just wanted to be someone's top priority for once, and I guess I kind of let myself down. And I'm so tired of losing people that I feel like I overcompensate. I can't tell if people really like me unless I'm performing in some way. I don't know what to do now, and such. Okay, so the person here, the good side is that they have really good self awareness, right? They're able to kind of self diagnose, which is the beginning step of anything, right? And oftentimes the next step is self diagnose, and then I know exactly what to do, but I can't seem to do it. And this next step is okay, I know exactly what I need to do, and then I'm gonna try doing it. And then it kind of branches in one end. I tried it, it's so hard, I don't want to do it anymore, and then I go back to the old ways. Or I tried it, I consistently tried it, and then whew, you know what, this is so much better than how things used to be, and so now I'm going to continue this, and then you keep progressing forward. So with that said, still, this is the good place to be, right? Like some self-awareness around where the problems are. And now I want to kind of help by pointing out not the surface level things, but the underlying thing here, right? Okay, you know how typical Asian parent kind of stereotype, right? Mom, I got an A. Why not A plus, right? Mom, I got all A plus. Okay, well, better do it next semester too, right? And then this is the kind of thing that when you get a B, you kind of want to kill yourself now, right? And even when you get an A plus, it just feels like you didn't do a good enough job yet, because you're just kind of like doing what was expected. So it doesn't really matter what your grades are, right? Because the feedback is always you need to be more, right? So that's one example. Second example, historically, like slave owners, or like the in the back in the feudal days, right? The feudal lords and the district administrators, they always collected the tax, right? And then the Irish famine and all these things, people are having a really hard time because agriculture isn't really going well. But then the officials don't care about that, right? I don't care how your farming situation is, just pay the fucking tax. And if I paid that amount of tax, then they're like, oh, you must be having a good time, so you should pay more, right? So it doesn't matter what the amount of payment is; they just keep wanting more, right? Same with like exploitative labor, like slavery found in America or in Korea, right? And during Japanese occupation of Korea, always like the quota is meaningless, because whatever you do, you just get whipped. You just need to do more, right? So this situation is kind of similar in that it doesn't really matter what the other partner does, because the state of mind inside is, I want more. It's like Ariel, right? But who cares? No big deal. I want more. While she has a bunch of like thingamabobs behind, right? That's the kind of the mentality. So, when this kind of a thing happens, you can be someone's top priority. And now guess what? You still won't be satisfied, because it's not what you get that matters. It's what you don't have that matters. But the thing is there ever a point where what you don't have doesn't exist? Suppose someone spends 24 hours with you, right? What's stopping you from thinking, I want more love from this person? Nothing, right? So you have to understand, number one, this is a silly mindset to be in, and number two, no good can come out of this. If there was something positive about this, then I would honestly say this, right? I always say, like, there's nothing absolutely good or absolutely bad. It's all relative to perspective. And I guess that kind of applies here. If you are willing to accept this tax of suffering, good, then you can continue thinking like this. But if you are interested in not suffering, this is something you have to drop immediately, because again, there's nothing good that comes out of this infinitely repeating desire. Because you are defining your life not with the things that you have. You are defining your life by the things that you don't have. But guess what? There's always going to be something that you don't have. Which means, by thinking like this, you are destining yourself to a life of dissatisfaction. But I care about you too much to say and claim that is the life you're destined for. It's not. So, I need you to understand. I need you to understand this is a silly thing. I need you to understand that this cannot lead to anything good. So, gotta drop it, right? So, now you can progress to the next step of, I know I need to drop it, but I don't know how. But we can talk more about that when we cross that bridge.